Hey guys, it's Spacey Sims, and we are back with more Mistonia's Hope, continuing Alfred's route. Still in Chapter 1, and we were about to stalk Lucas, as we think he's escaping. So, I quickly grabbed the broom and dustpan, then headed to Lucas. His shoulders tensed, perhaps sensing me getting closer, yet he didn't halt his steps. Lord Lucas, are you returning home? Leave me alone. Lucas picked up his pace, attempting to get away from me. Still the same as ever. It's hard to make conversation with someone like him without being persistent. It's kind of fun because we're going to harass the fuck out of him when we get to his route. As a servant of House Bernstein, I simply cannot leave you alone. If you're going, then I shall see you out. I know you'll still follow me whether I like it or not. Do whatever you want. Despite his dismissive remarks, his steps slowed a little. I adjusted my pace to match his, keeping my distance. I chose my next words carefully, determined not to let this rare opportunity slip by. Lord Alfred's return to the estate. Is that all right if you don't attend the meeting? It'll still go on without me. I don't want to waste any more time engaging with people. But you're the heir of House Sullivan. I'd imagine you're a necessary participant in the Five Houses Conference. Stop calling me the heir. I never said I'd take on that role. I'm fed up with it. All of it. I instinctively held my breath as Lucas let out his emotions. He stopped in his tracks. I did the same, lowering my head. I'm truly sorry. No, I apologize as well. But if you're trying to be involved with me more than you should... Lucas turned around as he spoke and fixed his gaze on me, just as he had when we'd first met. Lord Lucas? Anyway, I couldn't care less about being the head of the house or what happens to this country. I couldn't care less about being the head of the house or what happens to this country. Okay, it's like I couldn't read that sentence. I don't want anything to do with people like them. The only thing that matters is becoming a pure fae. Everything else is pointless. Okay, so at least, okay, we kind of already knew that. It's not like, wait, hold on. What? Okay. Supposed to guess. We kind of already knew that was what he was trying to do based on what Nicholas said, but now he's just straight out admitted it, so. Becoming a pure fae? Doesn't matter how strong of a demi-fae he is. That's impossible. Lucas sounded so genuine, though. It didn't come across as a joke, but again, I'd like to reiterate what does he think? I'm gonna become a pure fae and then I can go hide out in Tirnanog and never have to deal with people again. Yeah, but there's a bunch of fairies there, so wouldn't that also be dealing with, like, just a different kind of people? Like, you have people here, you have humanes, not humans, but whatever, and demi-fae and whatever, but you have a type of people here, and fairies are still a type of people. Like, I don't, just... I mean, unless I'm not understanding how Tirnanog works, right? And it's like you go there and you're just in your own little fairy bubble and you never deal with other fairies, then, like, why would the fairies want to be there? Because then they're just, like, in a stasis. They're not existing. You're just, what, like in a little cocoon? Like a fucking caterpillar? Just hanging out there forevers? I mean, don't get me wrong. That sounds great for some introverts like me. Lucas and I are on the same page. We're like, that sounds great. I never have to talk to another person again. But, like, I'm assuming most beings are not like that. That's why most people don't comprehend the introvertness of introverts. Introvertedness. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you know, like, I mean, just think of all the people who, like, flipped their fucking shit when you were stuck in your house for 2 years because of COVID and everyone was like, ah! And we're like, yes, finally, vindication! Because for 2 years, it was the best years of our lives. Because we didn't have to talk to people. I didn't have to go out. I didn't have to sit over. Oh my God. Like, don't get me wrong. I have forced myself to become partially extroverted. Okay? But it's a mask. All right. I mean, and even the most introverted introvert has a social battery where you're like, I want to go out and hang out with people. And you talk to people and you're like, yeah. Like, I go out and I seem like the most bubbly extrovert fucking ever when I go to my eye appointment because I love talking to the people in the office there and whatever. And then I go home and I never have to talk to another person for another month. You know what I mean? I am not an extrovert where I'm like, I'm out talking to people. I'm like, I haven't talked to people in 2 days. I haven't talked to people in 2 days. Oh, thank fucking God. Doing this doesn't count. I know people like, but you do a YouTube channel. Yeah, but I don't actually talk to people. I'm talking at you and you're listening, but you're not like here in front of me. Again, that's why I don't live stream. That would be exhausting. Mentally, emotionally, I don't think I could handle that. You know what I mean? I don't think my brain can handle it because it's like, then you'd have to like monitor and chat and all those different, it's too much shit to go on. And as we know, like, I can barely read sentences as it is when I'm by myself. And then it'd be like I'm performing in front of people. Because again, right now, you guys are watching this. I'm talking to you in the future, but I might as well be talking to my damn self. So like, take that as a compliment. Because like when introverted people are like, you don't count as people. That's a compliment. You're like, oh, thanks. You're not people either to me. Like, because people are exhausting. But like, us introverts have our little group of like people that don't count as people. Because you're not exhausting. And like, you guys watching this don't count as people who exhaust me because technically it's like I'm talking to myself. Like, we're like the samesies. Like, you're like a part of me. Which is crazy. That's probably why I have so many voices in my head, guys. But you know what I mean? Like, I'm talking to myself. I know someone's going to listen to this later. And could be 5 years from now. But that's fine. It's different if I were doing a live stream and everyone's talking at me at the same time. I'm like, oh my God. I've gone to people's live streams before and I'll talk and chat because I can just, pop in, you have a little conversation, whatever. I'm not the center of attention in that live stream. It's the person streaming. I don't want to be that person. You know what I mean? Like, holy shit. Stress me out a lot, But even like when I used to be in the office at work, I'd be like, no, I hate people. I do not like talking to people. And people laughed at me. They'd be like, yeah, okay. And I'm like, no, seriously. Like, I have just... Because extrovert is the natural order. And I say that with quotes around it. But like, you have to be an extrovert to exist in society. And society operates on an extroverted person mentality. So if you are an introvert, you are like, oh my God, leave me alone. I just want to be an introvert. And nobody gets that because it's like, no, you got to talk to people. No, I don't. No, I don't. No, I don't. But like... majority of people are extroverts, they don't get it. So like you have to, though, if you're an introvert, learn to operate in the societal norms of extroverts. And it's even more exhausting. And anybody who's even partially introverted is like, I get that. You get it. You know what I mean? And an extroverted person can understand in the reverse when you say, think of how stressful it was during 2020 when you could not go out and talk to people. And you're like, my God, that was hell. Yeah, that's what it is like every single day for an introvert. But you only had to suffer for 2 years. We have to suffer for our entire lives. I've been doing this for 84 years. Okay. Maybe not quite that long, but like, it's been 84 years. But you just kind of learn to be extroverted, but you do it badly, where then it's just, you're obnoxious. Well, that's because I don't know how to be extroverted, and I'm faking it. And I'm faking it, and I'm over-exaggerating it, therefore I'm obnoxious. See? She just let me hide in my little bubble. But anyway, so but I would assume that the fairy people are operating on the normal norms of society of they're probably wanting to hang out with each other, and so they're not living in their own little bubbles. So what does Lucas really think being a pure face going to get him? I don't think he's thinking through this. He's like, I don't want to deal with people. I'm going to go become a pure face. But I guess we haven't learned enough about pure face society to know that they never talk to each other. Because then sign me up for that. But anyway, Lucas sounded so genuine, though. It didn't come across as a joke. No, I don't know if he knows how to joke. Ugh, I've said too much. It's all your fault. You really throw me off. He was difficult to approach, but we could communicate just fine. This was another big step forward, just like when he helped me with dance practice. I think it's cute. You throw me off. Aw, thanks, that's adorable. It's kind of sweet coming from you. I don't really understand what he's talking about, but I might as well ask some more questions since I've come so far. I tried to carry on the conversation, keeping an eye on Lucas's expression. I had to be more careful with my word choice. I've never heard of anyone being able to turn into a pure fae. Is that even possible? Indeed, no such case has been recorded, but that doesn't mean it's impossible. It might just be that no one's figured it out yet. He probably understands that it's nothing but a childish dream, but why does he want to become a pure fae so badly in the first place? I decided to ask the question that was already on the tip of my tongue. I believe you already possess considerable power, so why do you want to become a pure fae so badly? I observed him, resolving to end the conversation and quietly see him off if I upset him again. Lucas answered, however, frowning. I want to go to Tir na Nog. His unexpected response surprised me. Okay, yeah, but why? Tir na Nog. It was located beyond the place where bluebells bloomed in full glory, a land of eternal spring where only pure fae resided. Yeah. But again, there's still beings there. Henceforth labeled as people. Types of people. So that's why he wants to be a pure fae. Only pure fae can pass beyond the border. A world unlike anything in the mortal realm. It must be unimaginably beautiful. Lucas wore an unusually serene expression. It was as though he was imagining a future in which his wish had been granted. I feel like there's more to it than just wanting to be away from people. But if he's got the will-o'-the-wisp power and he can, do stuff with dead people. Sounds so wrong. I don't remember how his power works with, dead people. But, I don't know. I don't know. I'm trying to I'm trying to connect it and figure out exactly, but I guess we're not going to find out his exact reasonings or anything like that until you get to his route. This is just kind of opening his little mystery box a little, giving you a sneak peek so it gets a little more mysterious and you're like, ooh, can't wait to figure out his whole mystery. You peeked at the present. We got the corner of it. We know it's a Lego set. We just don't know which one. You know what I mean? So, however, this only lasted for a moment. An annoyed crease soon formed between his brows. Listen, I took the time to respond to all your questions. Now don't ever bring this up in front of Alfred. He just started going on about what House Sullivan should do, carrying out our duties as the Five Houses, yada yada. Such a pain to even think about. His tone made it clear just how much he despised being scolded. I mulled over how I should react. Agree, object, don't respond. I feel like we should agree, but at the same time, it's Alfred's route, so maybe we should object. Because that'll give us Alfred points. But then maybe the best case is to just not respond. So I feel like agree is good for Lucas. We're not trying to romance Lucas. Object, good for Alfred. We're going to tell Alfred. Maybe. Maybe good for Alfred. Don't respond. Much better for me, because I don't know the answer. Agree. Oh, okay. All right. Oh, well, good. Well, actually, okay, I could see that's good for Lucas, but it's also good for Alfred because we're I agree. I won't say anything to Alfred. And then later when Alfred finds out, he's going to be like, it's so nice that you're going to keep secrets for your friends. You're trustworthy. I don't know. I could see that. Sure. Understood. Oh, what? That was like a blue feather. And the other one looked like I don't know what points were. I don't know what okay, that's the love catch system, but we had bluebells coming up. And then we just had when the first time we did Alfred, it looked like a little crystal or something. And this looked like a little feather floating on a pond. I'm very confused. What's what here? If he discovered that I mentioned it to anyone, he would surely refuse to speak to me again. That would be a problem, so I assured him I wouldn't tell anyone. Lucas watched me cautiously, however. Unless, one's leading you down the romance, there's the clown ending, and then there's just, is it the bad ending? I don't know. There were, different titles for ends. Unless that's kind of gauging where you're going? I don't know. Do you not trust the word of a servant? It's not that. Either way, you made a promise. You'd better keep your word. I already have a hard time with all the meetings and other hassles. I don't want anything more to do with that man. As far as I can tell, Lord Alfred seems to have a deep sense of duty. It's understandable that he be strict about work. He's a real nuisance. If we weren't both part of the 5 houses, I'd have nothing to do with him. Lucas's gaze lowered slightly. Aww, it's kind of cute how much you hate your boyfriend. Every time they argue, I'm like, no kiss. Okay, but it is kind of funny that he, like, I feel slightly, like, sad that you hate Alfred, because I love Alfred, but, like, I get it. It's because Alfred is like, you have a responsibility, and Lucas is like, I don't wanna! No! Alfred is the, you have to go to work and deal with people, because that is what society expects of you. And Lucas is all of us introverts. No, why? It's not fair. Just let me curl up in a blanket and lay here in a blanket taco and not have to talk to humans. Why are you mean? Yeah, no, I get it. Okay. Lucas's gaze lowered slightly. If only I hadn't become an accomplice back then. Oh. This has nothing to do with you. Are you satisfied now? I'm leaving. No need to see me off. And don't follow me! Lucas walked off, not waiting for a reply. I lowered my head and listened to his footsteps fade, realizing it'd be wise not to keep him. I performed my duties as a maid without a hitch, but my mind was focused on one thing. Alfred and Lucas are accomplices? What did he mean by back then? Could it be? That's what I was wondering, and I was like, wait a minute, what? Well, I feel like this is the natural conclusion, because that's what we all thought when he was like an accomplice back then, and I'm like, to the murdering of the whole village? Obviously, that's where her thoughts are going to go. That's where they want your thoughts to go. I feel like it's going to be something else. An accomplice to something else. And not this. Like, so that she's going to think, oh my god, you were both involved in murdering my family. And they're going to be like, what? No! We warned your family so that they would get out. What are you talking about? We didn't know. You know what I mean? It's going to be something like they tried to warn us, or it's something else. You know what I mean? It's not going to be what we think it is. So don't worry. Everything will be fine. We'll be right behind you. I love you, my beautiful, precious daughter. Now go. Hurry. I have to walk. I have to keep going. I promised. I have to do this. The terror of that day resurfaced against my will. Before I knew it, my fists were tightly clenched. I'll talk to John and see what he thinks. After I decided on my next steps, I raised my head. I didn't have the luxury of relaxing. A few days later, I stopped by Goneril's store while out shopping in the city. John came out from the back, not the owner. I filled him in on Alfred and Lucas. So they're accomplices. From the way you're saying it, it doesn't look like they worked on anything good together. Well, we don't know that. I recalled the unpleasant thought I'd had when I first heard the word. It was merely a guess, but I decided to share it nonetheless. Okay, nothing good. Well, depends on your perspective, because, again, if they had something to do with our family being murdered, then yes, that's not good. If they had something to do with trying to help my family escape, even if it didn't work out well, that is good for us, but not good for, like, their positions and the queen and everything like that. You know what I mean? Because, like, their positions would say that they should be involved in murdering my family. Right? That's what the queen would want. That's what the 5 houses should be doing. But if they went against her will and were like, no, we're going to, like, you know, warn the family, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm his accomplice. You're going to get in trouble with the queen. So it really just depends on your perspective, and what they actually did. Which side, like, you know, whether it's, I mean, it's bad for someone, doesn't necessarily mean it's bad for us, you know? And again, I think it's just wishful thinking. Well, okay, maybe not. I feel like how to really phrase this? Like, Obviously the game can go two ways. Oh my god, they're all involved in the murder of my family, but we forgive them because I'm in love with them. You know what I mean? Like, whichever one's route you go down. So, like, you could go down Alfred's route and then fall for him and then find out, oh my god, he was involved. Even if he, like, didn't want, oh no, I hated that I had to, but I did, I was partially responsible. And then you forgive him. Because we've played that route before in games where you're like, I don't know if we could forgive this character for doing this thing that we think they might have done. And then it's like, then they did. And you're like, oh, well, I guess. And then it's like, well, wait, what? We just forgave them for it? But, you know, I fell for it too. I was like, okay, I forgive them too. Wait, what? How did I get bamboozled? You know? So, like, my position now is like, I don't see how we could go and fall in love with Alfred and then find out he was responsible or worked with the people who killed my family and killed my family and then still be like, nah, it's okay. Especially because she's not like, oh, I'm just whatever. Her whole entire purpose is revenge on these people. So this is different than, you know, oh, I'm working at this house doing whatever. I haven't really given it much thought. And then you find out the person you fall in love with had something to do with it. And then you're like, oh, wait, what? No, her whole thing is, I will stab these motherfuckers if they're responsible. And then you're like, and then he's like, I am responsible. And she's like, I mean, never mind. Don't worry about it. That seems very weird. It seems very weird for the game to go down that. But it could, because if you think about it, that makes you go, oh, what the fuck? It's a little bittersweet. You know what I mean? Because you're like, I want a vengeance. I want to kill the person who had something to do with my family dying. And then you find out that the person you love did, and you're like, ah, fuck, oh, that hurts. Oh my God, what do we do? You know? And then in a bad ending, you kill them, and you're like, oh, it hurt because I loved them, but they killed my family, and I don't know. And it puts you in a very difficult position. You know what I mean? So the game could brilliantly go down that route. Or it could do the safe route, the safe way, and go, they didn't have anything to do with it. Maybe he knew about it, but he was too young. I mean, some of the characters are way too young to have done anything or been involved. So, okay, whatever. Alfred's one of those where it's cool, it's questionable. He could have been involved because he is old enough where he could have done something. He could have had a pitchfork in his hand too. You know what I mean? Just because he's in his early 20s doesn't mean he's exonerated here. You have some of them that are a couple years older than us. I doubt a 12-year-old's doing anything. And I don't think we should really blame them for that. Because, like, Edmund shoving a pitchfork in Edward's hand's not really Edward's fault. You know what I mean? Like, he's a child. Okay? I mean, there are limits. There are things where you're like, no, that child is actually a serial killer. Like, yes, we should hold them responsible for that animal torture. But there are other times where you were like, you know, but their parents kind of forced them into this cult, so we should help the poor child out of this cult. You know what I mean? Like, really gonna depend. But I would say in this situation, some of our love interests, even if they were physically there, they would have been children, and it's kind of not fair to blame them for being dragged along and forced to do something that they really, you know, might have been grappling with going, I don't think this is right, but your parents are telling you to do it, and how do you rectify that in your child brain? You know what I mean? So, Alfred's old enough to have been able to been like, no. So if he was involved, yes, that'd be difficult. But I feel like they're going to lean more into, or again, maybe it's wishful thinking, the Alfred didn't like where this was going and didn't think that they should be killing this family or whatever, and maybe tried to do something against it. Or didn't do a damn thing and then feels guilty because he didn't do a damn thing. You know what I mean? He was like, I could have done something maybe to stop it. I could have done something. I didn't. I didn't take part in murdering this family and this whole village, but I also didn't do anything to stop it. And you know what I mean? And that's fair enough too. But I just feel like they're not going to go down the, he was actually involved. You know? Or it would have been almost a hand. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I just don't necessarily think they're going to do that, because that would be, I mean, they could, because it would end up very like, but I love him, but I want to stab him, and I don't know what to do. And that would be kind of traumatic for all of us playing, and that's brilliant, because you're like, it hurts. I don't like it, but it's genius, but I hate it, but I love it, but I hate it at the same time. And if they go the safe way, you're going to be like, good. Good, be nice to our love interests, okay? Don't make them bad guys. We want them to be nice guys. And what we've seen of them is nice guys, and that could just be a facade. I don't know. You know? I'm leaning more, I guess, in my wishful thinking to hope that they weren't involved. So I think the accomplice thing is supposed to throw you off and make you go, oh my God, were they really involved? And they're accomplices in something else against the queen, where, you know, she's not going to think of that because she's thinking one track mind over here. And then when she finds out the truth, it's going to be like, oh, that's what Lucas meant by accomplice. Oh, because it's a bad thing for you to be accomplices when the queen's going to find out and then have your heads. Okay. You know? So that's what I'm leaning toward. But again, it's probably just wishful thinking. I'm hoping my wishful thinking is going to come to fruition. But I realize that me being like, nah, I think it's like this is like, I'm just hoping it is, really. It's hoping it is. But I recall the unpleasant thought I had when I first heard the word. It was merely a guess, but I decided to share it nonetheless. Maybe it's related to what happened in Eltbeek. Maybe Alfred and Lucas were in the village back then, and they've become accomplices by sharing some sort of role in the event. Am I overthinking this? See, and this is also why I think it's going to go the way where it's not what you expect, because they kind of spell it out here with her being like, oh my God, they did bad things. And you're going to find out it's not the bad thing you think it is. No, that's possible. I know it's merely speculation, but we can't rule it out. Still, there isn't enough information to be sure, John thinking with his head. The five houses defend the nation. They've been in many battles. Even if they can't admit it, it wouldn't be surprising if they got their hands dirty when their interests align. That's why I feel like we're jumping to conclusions way too fast. We can't assume Lucas was referring to the Eltbeek incident. You have a point. But it's clear that there's something those two are guilty of. I'll look into it a bit more when the chance arises. See, and I also like this. You know, like, she's very smart, but when he said that, she's got a personal vendetta, so of course it's going to hit a personal nerve. And she's going to be like, do you think it has something to do with this incident? Oh my God. And then John's going to be the voice of reason and be like, it's possible, but we can't be sure. We don't know. You know what I mean? And talk us down a little. Like, I like that we have this balance. All right. Make sure you're careful. I've also gathered some information about Alfred on my end. The Cresswell family has had a bit of a rough patch recently. I've heard their influence in the social sphere and among the nobles is fading. Aww, poor Alfred. This was hard to believe, given what I knew about Alfred at the Five Houses conference. Their position as one of the Five Houses is secure, of course. The Queen and the other houses aren't disregarding House Cresswell as a whole. But recently, other nobles have been visiting House Bernstein and Ward. It's pretty obvious how those who seek power are acting. I wonder what the reason behind that could be. Are they trying to get closer to the next head of the houses? I haven't gotten to the bottom of it, but House Cresswell, or Alfred himself, seems to harbor a massive secret. One that could shake up the entire household. Interesting. I wonder if he's in charge of the Midnight Ravens or whatever. I swear to God, he is going to be some like fucking vigilante Batman out there, and you're going to be like, wait, what? Like, I'm waiting for that. You just think he's cold and aloof, whatever, and it's going to be like, because we saw him in that memory trying to help the Mingles in Eden. You know what I mean? So I'm like, he is doing some kind of like nice shit on the side. That's his big secret. You know what I mean? And we've seen it with him trying to help Charlotte and everything. You're like, his big secret is he's a goddamn marshmallow. If we can figure out what that is, it might give us a chance to get closer to Alfred. John's comment reminded me of the discussions that took place during the Five Houses conference. Though the Five Houses weren't at odds, their differing stances made it clear they weren't of one mind. This was obvious from what I'd seen of their conversations. Would focusing on one person rather than gathering info from all of them be better? It could be beneficial if I gained their trust. Goneril returned to the shop as I mulled over my next move. Well now, what luck! You're here! I've got some fresh news to share with you. I glanced at John, then turned my attention to Goneril. She settled into her usual seat, took out a pipe, and lit it. The ravens have been unusually busy lately. See, and then, like, the ravens keep coming up. This is why I'm making this connection. I don't think it's unfair, right? What's this about the exhibition? Are they seriously gonna make a move? Well, I understand why they're targeting the exhibition. The Queen's hardly shown herself in public lately, and they probably don't want to miss the chance. The Queen had only rarely come to events in recent years, despite making an appearance at the debutante ball. The Queen would surely attend the exhibition, appearing before a crowd of commoners. If they're going to make a move, this is a golden opportunity. Although it's kind of like if Alfred is involved with the Twilight Ravens or whatever, would we really be getting that kind of information right up front? You know what I mean? In his route? Because I feel like that's probably the smallest portion of it. Like, because we're going to unwrap bigger mysteries, but is, like, the Twilight Ravens the biggest mystery here? Not really. You know what I mean? But I think it's just because as we go through and there's usually things to unwrap and mysteries to solve, the first route is usually, like, the one that's like, oh, yeah, nothing really happens. Poor Alfred, but it's going to be like, oh, he's just a really nice guy who's trying to help Mingles. Oh, okay, that's it? That we already kind of figured that. And there's nothing else really to unpack. Even though John said he has a secret, okay? Like, it's going to be something like that, and we're going to be like, yeah, I mean, the game already told us that. I mean, okay. You know? And it's not like it's going to be a bad route. It's just not going to be this whole, he's in charge of the Midnight Ravens. It's going to be like, because that's a bigger piece of the puzzle, that's going to be something that comes out later. And you know what I mean? So, like, I don't know. I don't know which way. I feel like it'd be better if he has a fun little secret, you know? But usually the first route's fun little secret is just, it's a tiny little thing, and it's, okay, yeah, but it's not one of the bigger pieces. And I feel like Midnight Ravens is a bigger piece. But I think it'd be nice to find out he's involved. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I think that'd be kind of fun. They keep bringing it up. So, I don't know. I had no idea who or what they were after, but it didn't matter as long as they didn't hinder my objective. If our interests aligned, I'd even consider teaming up with them. See, I mean, and it's shit like this, and shit teaming up with them. And then we're going to fall in love. See, we're going to fall in love with Alfred. We're teaming up with him. See what I'm saying? Our interests are going to align. And I feel like it's kismet. It's perfect. I can always report them to the royalists if they become a hindrance to throw them off balance. I won't let anyone get in the way of my goals, no matter who they are. Royalists, a faction that supports the Fae Queen as their absolute sovereign. House Ward is their representative. Rest assured, the 5 houses will take care of any wrongdoer who poses a threat to Her Majesty. Alfred's like, I'm just saying that because I have to. I thought about what Alfred had said back in the garden. He seemed to be a royalist at first glance, but there was a strange, uncomfortable feeling I couldn't explain. See? I feel, okay, if it does not come out that he is at least in league or helping out the Twilight Ravens, or if not the fucking leader of them, I feel like the game is leading you in this because they keep talking about them, but then also it's like, he's a royalist, but at the same time, is he? The game is just, I feel like it's setting it up. Something's bothering me. I don't know what it is or why I feel this way. I still can't put my finger on it, and she knows he's trying to help Mingles, but it could just be like, oh, he's doing his philanthropic work here. I knew there was no point in thinking about it any longer. Instead, I focused on listening to Goneril and John. I feel like that's the game being like, ding, 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 hi, we were talking about the Ravens and Royal, but maybe not. And like, come on, put the pieces together. The next few days passed peacefully. I carried on with my duties calmly and flawlessly until Alfred called out to me while visiting the estate. Impressive work, as always. Oh, don't worry. I'm not going to do what I did last time. He opened his hand to show me that he wasn't smoking. I realized what he was trying to say as I watched him lean against the window. I see now. He's asking me to keep him company again. It's really adorable. I had no right to decline, having been the one who urged him to cut back on smoking. I had no intention of turning him down, of course, and turned to face him. I'm flattered by your compliments. The information I had hoped to gain from Alfred had grown exponentially since we'd last met, and now resembled a mountain. For instance, whether he was truly Lucas's accomplice in House Cresswell's true state, and most importantly, his involvement in the incident 8 years ago. Nevertheless, it'd be impossible to ask him everything at once. What puzzles me most is his intent on approaching me once again. Perhaps he suspected me after all. I reminded myself to stay vigilant. Alfred then uttered something quite unexpected.
Edward told me you're good at embroidery, and you must have quite deft hands.
Oh, not at all. It's merely a modest hobby. My skills are far from remarkable. They pale in comparison to House Cresswell's talent. I'd heard that Spriggan, the founder of House Cresswell, mined ore, crafting it with their own hands and forged weapons. Their dexterity was then passed down through the generations. The defensive barrier used by House Cresswell was said to be powered by ore they had mined.
Embroidery and stonework are distinct arts. I imagine there are lessons to be learned from skills in that field.
You truly are devoted to the welfare of this nation, Lord Alfred. Alfred shook his head when I expressed my honest admiration for his insatiable desire to learn.
And this is merely what's expected of someone in a leadership position. One must always strive to advance their skills, and gaining new knowledge is essential in doing so. If you don't mind, I'd like to see your work sometime. Please don't feel obligated, though. You're free to refuse if you want.
I never imagined such innovative views coming from someone of noble birth. I cannot say for certain if my embroidery will serve as any kind of reference, but I shall bring you my current piece once I've completed it. By the time I'll be ready to show it, I may have already achieved my goals and be long gone.
I'd greatly appreciate it.
I understood why Charlotte and Edward were so fond of him, especially in these rare moments when Alfred showed his gentler side, especially when he smiles like that. It's like he's beaming as brightly as his jacket. I love it. I love the fact that I'm never going to get over the fact that he is like the stone-faced, cold one, whatever. He's very serious, and he's wearing the brightest fucking yellow jacket. Like, it's so, like, you would think, like, okay, Lucas dresses as you'd expect. He's wearing darker, somber colors so he can, like, blend into the shadows and disappear. And you'd think Alfred, being as serious as he is, would have a serious suit. And yet, here he is, a majestic golden show pony. Like, with all of his ribbons and shit. And the fucking yellow jacket. Like, I don't know when they were designing him, if they were like, yeah, he's going to have the serious stone-faced one. He's going to be that one, the resting bitch face. And then they were like, let's put him in a yellow jacket, because that'd just be funny. Oh, put a fucking bunch of ribbons on him like he's won Best in Show. You know what I mean? Like, whatever thought process went into designing Alfred's whole ensemble here is just like chef's kiss. Like, I love it so much. I love it. It's ridiculous. Like, I love his outfit, don't get me wrong, but it is just funny seeing somebody in a bright yellow coat who has just got resting bitch face. But then look at his cape, everything. I love the costumes in this. Listen, I have heard that there are some questionable things about the costume, like people being like, the wardrobe is a little like whatever. Trust me, we've seen Amnesia Memories, okay? We've seen all the straps and buckles and a knee-high boot and an ankle boot and, like, what the actual fuck are you doing? And, like, how do you, how many buckle straps, chains, and shit do you have on those pants, okay? And that was absurd, but I was still here for it. I am here for flair. But, like, I do not think that this should be anywhere near the comparison of, like, Amnesia on ridiculousness. Amnesia Memories outfits were fucking ridiculous. Again, it's the boot thing. It's really the, like, shin, the thigh-high boot and a knee-high boot. And you're like, you're wearing, like, 2 different boots. Who the fuck does that? Like, who does that? This is not, it's the same boot in just 2 different colorways. No, this is 2 totally different boots. A thigh-high boot and, like, an ankle boot. Sir, you can't, what the fuck? That is not even. Or, like, you've got one over your pant leg and the pant leg's going over the other one. And, like, what are you doing? All right? Like, but I still love those. They, as I read someplace, and I will never forget it, look like they rolled around in a Hot Topic clearance bin and just came out with everything on. And that is absolutely it, and I'm here for it. But these outfits in this game are still nowhere near that level of absurdity. They're a little absurd, but in like a fun fantasy, again, he won best ribbon at the My Little Pony fair. But like, but I think his is my favorite because it's just everybody else's kind of suits them, like whatever. But his is like you are that stone-faced man wearing a bright yellow jacket, and it's just so adorable. You should be wearing a somber black coat or a gray coat or something, and you are wearing like yellow. It makes me happy. And then he beams like this, and then it's like, see, he is so sunshiny like his jacket. I need a man in a bright yellow coat. Okay. Anyway. Love it. Oh, I'm a little goofy right now. I'm not drunk, I swear to God. I should drink more often when we play these games. You never know what the hell's come out of my mouth then. Is it the way he furrows his brows that makes him so intimidating? I may have misjudged him. The fact that he took a servant's warning seriously regarding the tobacco incident suggested he had an earnest disposition. What is it? My mind began to wander, but his voice pulled me back to reality. Nothing. I shall be on my way then. I bowed my head slightly before turning away, sensing Alfred's gaze lingering on my back as I left. Ever since our encounter in the garden, Alfred had engaged me in conversation more often within the estate. It was a mixture of subtle probing and idle chatter, sort of simple, everyday exchanges. How cute. Here he is again!
What a coincidence. I didn't expect to find you here.
He's like, I've searched all over the house. He was going in every fucking room looking for us. What do you want to bet? I've come to tidy the bookshelves. What brings you here, Lord Alfred? If you're in search of a book, I'd be happy to assist.
Oh, no, it's fine. I was merely perusing the books, wondering if I should borrow one for a change of pace. That said, and this is quite the collection, are these all selected according to the Marques's taste? There aren't many historical works.
Oh, I like this. We're just flashing through random conversations. How cute. Are you looking for Lord Edward?
Yes, I wanted to confirm something before the meeting, but I can't find him anywhere. Do you know where he might be?
I think he might be in the garden. He usually has tea with her ladyship at this time. Shall I go and call for him?
No, never mind. I wouldn't want to intrude. I don't want to disturb siblings' time together. I'll check in with him later. Sorry for disturbing your work. I'll take my leave. You're just in the right place, Space. Sorry, but could you have some tea brought to the parlor?
Understood.
Speaking of which, is Charlotte managing all right? I know she's quite competent as a kitchen maid, but she lacks a little too much self-esteem, even though she has the ability to carry herself as confidently as you do.
Is he giving me an indirect compliment? He doesn't seem to realize it, though. While I can't be of too much help in the kitchen, it is certain that her skills are highly regarded there. Or here, sorry.
Is that so? If she's being recognized, then I'm glad I decided to bring her here.
And it's sweet that he checks in on Charlotte, you know? I felt like there was always some kind of hidden agenda behind Alfred's every word. With that in mind, I couldn't let my guard down when talking to him. The hidden agenda is he just wants to spend time with you, I think. You know what I mean? Like, he's got a hidden agenda. He's always like popping up wherever. Yeah, because he's like, oh, hey, you're here. Are you sweating and out of breath? No, I wasn't just like running all over the house trying to look for you and figure out where you were. You're just casually in the library and you're just casually here too. Like, he's like just popping up random bits of conversation. She's like, he's trying to figure me out. I'm like, yeah, because I think he might have a crush on you. But I like how her one track fucking mind is like, he's trying to suss me out so he can stab me. And it's like, girl. Okay, she hasn't quite gotten that dramatic, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not occurring to her that maybe he just is interested in talking to you, that he likes your company and might think you're cute, you know? The days of constant probing continued, and my long-awaited break came at last. I haven't received any messages on the pocket watch. Oberon isn't responding either, but that's nothing new. Wasting my time is pointless. I suppose I should go visit John. He might have some new information. At some point, you're going to be talking to John, and Alfred's going to see you and then just get sad thinking that you have a lover. I hadn't come across significant information since I'd stopped by the store during my last shopping trip. My investigation had come to a standstill, and then he's gonna be like, oh no, because you like have a boyfriend, and you're gonna be like, what? No, John's not my boyfriend. And she's gonna be like, why do I care if Alfred thinks John is my boyfriend? And then she's gonna start to realize that she's in love. You know that's gonna happen. And if that doesn't happen, I'd be shocked. However, John was supposed to gather information from the middle class and other sources, so we might be able to make some progress. Middle class, a class consisting of humanes of no fade descent. They possess extraordinary imagination, diligence, and abundant emotions that they don't have. Prized for these traits and their development of the country, the Queen adores them and grants them her protection. So, abundant emotions that Fae don't have. Maybe that's why Lucas wants to become a pure Fae, so he doesn't have to deal with emotions. That was what I believed, but I'm afraid there's been no development on my end. Sorry. He does look at his sad little face. Don't apologize, John. I didn't get anywhere either. I intended to give him some encouragement, but John's expression remained the same. He looked at the ceiling and let out a heavy sigh. We've hit a dead end. At this point, we might have to dig deeper into Eden in order to make any progress. John couldn't frequent Eden much. Anyone who wasn't a mingle stood out in the area, making things difficult for him. We finally managed to enter one of the 5 houses' estates. Not being able to get closer to the heart of the issue is frustrating. I think focusing on one person would be best. Despite what I said, the past few days of dealing with Alfred, coupled with the exhaustion the constant tension led to, had left my mind somewhat sluggish. This isn't good. I need to clear my head. John, I'm gonna get some fresh air. I'll check out how things are going in the city. Fresh air? Are you feeling unwell? If so, you should lie down and rest. No, it's nothing like that. I'm fine. I'll be back shortly. She's like, my mind is in like a fog because Alfred's around and he's so goddamn pretty in that jacket and the little show pony ribbons. Like, he really is best in show. All right, then. I'll make tea when you get back. Thanks, John. John's face darkened briefly as he stood. Then he nodded his head, his concern for me visible. I mean, okay, I'm not saying that, like, Alfred's gonna be my ultimate favorite, but he is one of my favorites, and it doesn't matter if they're just, like, kind of meh on his route. I still love him to death. I'll be slightly disappointed. I'll be like, well, but, you know, I still love our show pony. I don't want to let him see me exhausted like this. He's been looking out for me so much. Grateful for John's thoughtfulness, I ventured into the city alone, and we're gonna run into Alfred. What do you want to bet? That shop has adorable items. How lovely. When did I last walked aimlessly like this? I had always been on guard, unable to open my heart to anyone. It had just been John and me struggling to get this far. Despite having once dreamed of the world outside of Eltbeek, I didn't enjoy it now that I was here. Well, that's because when you dreamed of going outside of Eltbeek, you dreamed of, like, a future where your family wasn't brutally murdered and you were trying to seek vengeance. So, fair. I felt morose, yet at the same time I felt a sense of strength as I strolled around. I might as well buy some new embroidery floss while I'm at it. I turned to enter the shop I'd passed earlier and saw a familiar man and woman crossing the street. They look like they're from the lower class. They don't seem to be connected to House Bernstein either. So where have I seen them? Oh, okay. I was like, are you gonna are there people we're supposed to recognize from, like, a flashback scenario? No, okay. Are you actually for real? Can we really have a decent life if we fight alongside the Ravens? I think we should believe them. They said they wouldn't yield to the Queen. They're the ones who were discussing the Twilight Ravens. With the investigation at a standstill, running into them again might serve as a fresh start. Are we going to find out right now that Alfred's with them? in the first fucking chapter? Because I would have expected if we're going to get that reveal to be later, but I feel like, I held my breath and trailed them, making sure they didn't notice me. I followed them as they turned down a side alley, but they're gone? My effort at remaining unnoticed by keeping my distance had backfired. I stood there alone, staring down a complex path between the buildings filled with twists and turns, resembling a maze. No, they shouldn't have gone too far yet, considering how much time has passed. I'd gone through so much to break the stalemate. I couldn't let this chance slip away. I balled my hands into fists and advanced down the alley. Alfred, someone's gonna come out to attack us, and Alfred's gonna save us, and we're gonna wonder why the fuck was he in the back alleys. After winding around corner after corner, I saw a figure in the dim light ahead.
Hey, what's someone like you doing here?
A group of men with strong, muscular builds stood in front of me. Oh, Alfred's gonna come save our ass. And then it's gonna be like, that's sus as fuck. Why is he in the same back alley that those people were who were looking for the Twilight Ravens? You know what I'm saying? I simply got lost. I'll be on my way. I wanted to avoid trouble, but just as I turned around, another man appeared behind me.
You're not getting away that easily. Answer the question.
I got lost while chasing his lordship's cat. I have no other business here.
Ha! A cat, huh? That's suspicious. A well-dressed young lady like you wouldn't just wander into an alley like this one. Are you with the yard?
No, I'm not.
Tell me your real purpose.
Dodging them would lead to nothing, so I decided to face these men. Well then, to be honest, I'm trying to find someone. Can you let me through? I have no intention of hurting anyone.
Huh? You're the one who's gonna get... Ugh!
I caught the man's arm as he reached toward me and quickly stepped forward. Oh, are we going to self-defend? Are we going to actually kick ass? I mean, okay, to be fair, we do know how to kick ass. Oh, the music's janky, guys. How long has it been janky? It's the end of the part. You know what? We're just going to have to deal with janky music. I just noticed it. It might have just picked up here. I just noticed it because the music got a little louder. We're just going to have to suffer and deal because we only got like a few minutes left. So, but, I was like, I kind of forgot, like, we know how to kick ass, but it'd be kind of funny if Alfred does show up here because then it'd be like, wait, you're in the alley where the Twilight Raven people were. Sus as fuck. But also, I'm glad we get to kind of kick ass a little. This is going to be fun. I ducked and threw him toward the wall with all my might. I learned this technique from John. I love this. Wait a minute. Wait. No, we're here for this. Now, okay. We have games where there are, like, our main characters actually, like, know how to fight a little bit and whatever. And yes, the men have to go. And at least I appreciate that. It's like, okay, we know how to sword fight and we do it. It makes me giggle every time as opposed to the games where it's like, I know how to use a sword and then I just... act like I'm looking at you, Hakuoki, okay? Like, looking like a moron because she doesn't know how to fucking defend herself despite the fact that she acts like she was trained with a sword, then try to fucking use one. Even if the man has to come in and save us, at least we still got a punch in. I'm good for that, okay? Like, I appreciate that, like, and some of the other games that we've played, like Biroshana and Battlefield Waltz, you know what I mean? Like, we are supposed to be a character that knows how to fight, you know what I mean? And that's our whole role, so being able to do it makes sense in those games, and I would have been even more pissed if we weren't doing it. But, like, this one, they could have gotten away with, like, oh, she knows self-defense, but no, she doesn't. You know what I mean? Are you coming back? I gave you a body break, but come back. Come on, don't bite. Fine, fuck you. Stay over there then. Whatever. I'm trying to get him to come back on my hand. He needed a potty break, so I put him over there while I was talking, and he's just like, whatever, I'm going to sit over here. He's trying to bite me, getting him back on my hand. Fine. Stay there then. Jerk. You're rude. Anyway, you know what I mean? I just appreciate that she's actually going to kick a little ass. Even if the man comes and pretends he saves us at the end, that's fine. That's fine. She got a punch in. Anyway, I ducked and threw him toward the wall with all my might. I learned that technique from John. Ugh! I brushed off my clothes and met the remaining man's gaze. Are you connected to the Ravens by any chance? If so, this conversation will go smoother.
Shh! This wench!
Having had his partner taken out, the man rushed at me, trying to grab me. I wanted to avoid a commotion. I need to settle this quickly. What do you think? I don't want you now. You didn't want to come over. You're a jerk. I shifted my weight, wrapped my arm around him, and used momentum to shake off the man's hand.
Ugh!
He hesitated. I quickly stopped my foot and aimed a palm strike at his throat.
Wait!
Oh, someone's screaming, wait. Just as I was about to strike, a man intervened and grabbed my hand to stop me. I turned to face the voice, annoyed the number of people I had to take down had increased, and found myself stunned. It's Alfred, isn't it?
Yes, it is! Oh my god! Look at him in his outfit! Look at his ponytail! Look at his sexy jacket! He's absolutely the leader of the Twilight Ravens, isn't he? He's like, we're kicking. He's like, wait, what are you doing? I love this. This is, like, stop it! I was expecting this, but I'm still excited.
Lord Alfred? Standing there was none other than Alfred Cresswell.
Sorrel, this woman's suspicious. She's been tailing her comrades and ended up here.
I knew it! They kept talking about the Ravens, and I was like, Alfred's involved. Is he the leader? This is what I was expecting to happen, but I'm still so fucking excited about it. I love it. I love it. A part of me did expect the game to be like, no, he's not going to do anything exciting like that because first route. But no, this is so good. Ah!
I see. I'll handle the rest. You can go. But that girl's strong! If anything happens to you, sir!
Alfred glanced at me, then he waved the man off with his free hand, still gripping my own in the other.
Don't worry, just go.
Despite his worry, the man carried his unconscious comrade away and vanished down the alley.
We have to now explain our ass-kicking abilities! Now then.
Alfred let go of my arm now that we were alone. We turned to face one another. His gaze was even sharper than usual.
I'm surprised. I didn't know that you knew martial arts. Those moves were beyond anything a mere servant can do.
We're like, I knew I had to say something, but I couldn't wrap my head around the situation. Nothing would come out of my mouth. Why is he here?
And then again, I suppose you're just as surprised.
Once I started to calm down, a single doubt swirled through my mind. This man was the head of House Cresswell and a key figure in uniting the 5 houses as part of the Royalists. However, he's the type of person who won't hesitate to extend his hand to those far beneath him, even to a servant like me. I can tell he's deeply respected from the way those men acted. They had reacted with hostility and suspicion when I mentioned the Ravens. And now here was Alfred, who'd earned their respect. What was it that connected them? A possible answer came to mind, but the thought seemed ridiculous. I mean, girl, put it together. What are you doing in a place like this, Lord Alfred? What did those men mean? Alfred remained silent. My idea began to seem much more plausible. I like her, she's like, no. But no. But yes? Like, she put the pieces together, but she's like, these don't go together. No. Do they? Yes? No? Like, I love it. Could it be that you're... I found myself unable to speak openly. Alfred nodded slowly, seeing me struggle for words.
I'm sure you've realized it. The thought that crossed your mind is correct. I'm the one who unites them. I'm the leader of the Twilight Ravens.
I fucking love it. I mean, we knew it, but God, you should see the look on my face. You can hear it in my voice. I love this so much. Fuck yeah. Thank you, game, for not making Alfred boring. You know what I mean? Because, like, he's the first route, so they could have just made him like, oh, yeah, no. But, like, oh, they gave him something exciting. Oh, I love it. High expectations for every other motherfucking route now. Like, if this is the first one and you've put my expectations way up here, shit. We're having a hell of a time, aren't we? From the way he stated it, he didn't seem to be trying to sweep the matter under the rug. Also, mark one for me for guessing that. I don't think they were being sly about it, though. You know what I mean? Like, it's not in his route. Like, in the common route, a bunch of other things are coming out, and you're like, okay, but, like, His route, it was pretty clear. They kept talking about the Ravens, and it was like, you brought it up like twice. Yeah, no, okay. Like, but I'm surprised that they revealed it this early, you know? So, anyway, from the way he stated it, he didn't seem to be trying to sweep the matter under the rug. The head of House Cresswell is pretending to be loyal to the Queen as part of the Five Houses, while secretly leading an anti-royalist group. And this is what I was saying. This is what Lucas and him, they're accomplices. Lucas did something, and it's against the Queen. Not only that, this man, he could be my enemy. No, I doubt it, girl. I feel like this is, you should realize. I wondered how to respond to this situation. I'd be like, so let me ask you something. Like, I hesitated. Alfred's gaze was different than before. It carried a certain affection. Oh my God, wait a minute. Does he know who we are? Does he know? Look at the CG. It's majestic. Look at him reaching his hand out to us. I want to reach out and take it, but I can't. It's 2D and I can't.
Stop lying, Space.
Lying?
Your loyalty to your lord is nothing but a facade. It's obvious to me, no matter how hard you try to hide it.
Were you only talking to me because you wanted to uncover that?
Indeed. I thought you were genuinely loyal at first, but the more I observed you, the more I saw a hint of something dark in your eyes.
Are you trying to lure me to the dark side? 'Cause, like, I'm so fucking into it.
I believe you have opinions about the Five Houses, perhaps even this nation as a whole. If that's the case, then we can surely work together, can't we?
Alfred extended his hand to me. Take it. What does he mean? Could he have figured out my true identity? No. He may sense my hostility, but not the reason for it, right? That's possible. Okay, so I don't know, but like he's like, stop lying, and you're like, what? So maybe he does know who we are, maybe he doesn't, but he's like, I can see betrayal. 'Cause takes one to know one, girl. Even though Alfred was waiting for my response, it didn't seem like I would get what I needed from him. It doesn't matter anymore. He's outright admitted that he's a raven, so I should take initiative too. I brushed my now messy hair and dropped my emotionless facade. I steadied myself, stood tall, and leveled up a piercing stare at Alfred. I shall take my time deciding whether or not to take your offer. After all, you don't know the real me, do you?
What do you mean by that?
Alfred stared at me in confusion, taken slightly aback by the intense hostility directed at him. I steadied myself, my hand over my heart, and firmly declared my name. Oh, look, oh my God, look at the look on her face. There's like, oh my God, and look at the shock on his. My true name is Spacey. Spacey E. Randolph. I focused on my right hand on my chest and activated my face-side hand, showing him the back of it. I am the sole survivor of House Randolph, accused of treason by the Queen, whose clan was wiped out in Elpbeak. Look at his shocked face. He didn't know who we were. This symbol is proof. It's a pleasure to once again make your acquaintance, Lord Alfred Cresswell. I curtsied in a dignified manner with all the poise of a noblewoman, then smiled softly at the potential target of my revenge, who we are gonna fuck so hard later. Oh! My God, that is like the best end to a chapter and a part ever! Ow! Oh my God! Can we... I don't want a loud clap because I'll scare the bird because he's sleeping, but but goddamn! Round of applause, clap, clap, that is fucking, holy shit! That is beautiful! Oh, fuck, man, everything about this is amazing! Okay, we were having a great time before, don't get me wrong, this whole entire fucking game has been great so far, but that is just, oh my God, I am here for this. I knew that he was the leader of the Ravens, and then he knew he was going to be in this alley, and then you're like, there you go, okay, whatever. And then like, but then the like little reveal, and he's like, come, I know you want, and I see darkness in your eyes, and you're like, oh, you don't even know. And then he's like all, and like that CG, the transition with her like revealing who she is in front of him, and a look on his face. Oh my God. But we'll figure out how this is going to continue going in the next part. So I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.